Welcome, everybody. This is the Summerslam post show. Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Zach Gibby. It's just going to be me this time doing the review. Other guys for the review are out. So just me right now. But you can tune in, see those guys on the Raw post show. Definitely go check that out every Tuesday after the Raw. So definitely go check that stuff out. Great reviews and all that. And we also got Friday Night Talkdown. We look over the news going around in WWE so far, and it's good stuff. Always a great show there for Friday Night Talkdown, so also tune into that. So let's get right away started with SummerSlam post-show. Big news, obviously, Brock Lesnar won the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This is a big deal. We'll get to that later, though. Go from the bottom of the card to the top, and just go from there. So we'll start with the pre-show. Pre-show was Rob Van Dam versus Cesaro. I'll tell you this right now, I did not see it because I didn't even know that match was going to be in the pre-show, so I didn't really bother to go watch the pre-show. Sorry. And so I can't really give you an analysis of what happened during the pre-show. But I'll go into the main show. And we started out with The Miz versus Dolph Ziggler for the Intercontinental Championship. This was an interesting title match. It was interesting the fact that Dolph Ziggler won, which was quite surprising. I actually thought that Miz was going to retain. But Ziggler beat Miz, and he's the new Intercontinental Championship, or the champion. So, just a little bit off my game today. But, it was an interesting match. I liked where some of the stuff going on was going, but, it wasn't an amazing match, in my opinion. Ziggler did alright, and Miz, held his own. I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Miz now. They're probably going to prepare him for a rematch. So, who knows? We'll see what happens there. But Ziggler had, obviously, it was his shining moment tonight, or last night. And he really looks good as a new Intercontinental Champion. A lot of people are wishing he was the WWE World Heavyweight Champion right now, but, at least he's getting some sort of a push. And that's saying something considering WWE's, let's just say, approach to pushes for guys, because they're not really, they kind of want to push what they want to push instead of what the fans want to see for a push. So it's interesting to see how Ziggler will go on in the future, because I think he can be a good champion as long as they book him right, and I think they will book him right, but you never know. And it'll be interesting to see where Miz goes moving forward, because they were pushing this celebrity gimmick, and now the title is off him, so it'll be interesting to see where he goes with his gimmick. Obviously, a rematch is probably in the line. I do like the Miz's new character. It's obviously reminds a lot of people of The Rock, but that shouldn't be too much of a bad thing, because I think the Rock has always been a great wrestler, and The Rock's gimmick with Hollywood was pretty good, but more people remember his catchphrases and all that than Hollywood Rock. So I think Hollywood Miz, it would be more memorable. I know that seems kind of surprising, but who a lot of people remember what happened with Catchphrase Rock instead of Hollywood Rock, even though Hollywood Rock was a great character. So I think the Miz, if he's able to really make it his own, this Hollywood gimmick, he can really make a name for himself in the mid card, because I don't think he's going to be back in the main event scene anytime soon. But it was interesting to say the least, this match, and I'd give the match probably a 2 out of 5, because there wasn't many great stuff, but it was interesting where they're going with Ziggler. So definitely be on the lookout for that on Raw. So the next match we had was another title match, and it was AJ Lee versus Paige for the Divas Championship. Great match in my opinion. It was a lot better from what I've heard from the Battleground pay-per-view. I did not see the Battleground pay-per-view because I actually didn't want to see the Battleground pay-per-view because I thought it was going to be bad, and lo and behold, I was right. So anyways, from what I've heard, this match was a lot better than the first match. And when I saw it, it was a pretty good match. Some interesting stuff happened. And it's very interesting to see that Paige is now the new Divas champion. I actually thought that AJ was going to beat Paige, even though it was Paige's birthday. But at least that's a good birthday present for Paige for her 22nd birthday. So Paige is the new Divas champion. And apparently the reason why Paige is the new champion is because AJ Lee is in the midst of leaving the company because she wants to start a family with CM Punk. That's an interesting report. And wouldn't be all that surprising to me, to be honest, but it'll really be it'd be sad to see if AJ Lee would go because of it, but it's her life. What are you going to do? I bet you she wants to get out of those CM Punk chants as fast as she can because God knows a lot of people are tired of hearing CM Punk chants. So the match, pretty good. Lot interesting spots. I thought personally it was better than the Miz Ziggler match. I didn't find the Miz Ziggler match all that crazy. I thought it was okay at points. But I thought this match was a good match. Good Divas match. So I'd get it higher around 2.5, 2.75 out of 5. It was good. It was a good match for a Divas match. I actually wanted to maybe have it go on a bit longer, but because it felt a little short to me, especially after the first title, the Intercontinental title was changed, had the hands changed. So yeah, I thought it was interesting the way Paige won that title, and I think we may see a new either a rematch between AJ Lee and Paige at Night of Champions, or Paige is going to face someone new, and I think that may be a call up from NXT, which could be Charlotte. That's what I'm thinking. But if these AJ Lee rumors are true anyways, but I guess we'll see. And hopefully the Divas storyline can really get better because Paige and AJ Lee are both great workers, so it'll be very interesting to see where it goes. So next match on the card, Rusev versus Jack Swagger in a flag match. This wasn't a flag match. This was your standard match. It just had flag match just for some promotional stuff. The only closest thing to a flag match was that the flags were at the corners of the ring. But even then, it was on the outside corners of the ring, not actually on the corners, like a typical flag match is. So we had Rusev beating Jack Swagger in a flag match. And in what was just a standard normal match, the match was meh. It was a meh for me. I was expecting more out of flag match. It was interesting to see they used the ankle dynamic because of the Patriot lock that that Swagger uses. So very interesting stuff in the match, mainly because there wasn't anything to the flag match. So it was interesting to see how non-interesting the flag match was. The only thing that they said for the flag match was that the wrestler's flag, if he won, would be raised, which has been the standard Rusev thing for a couple weeks now. So it really makes no difference to me, anyways. So it was it was not it was all right, but not crazy. I was expecting more out of this flag match. I mean, it is a gimmick match, and gimmick matches aren't really, my cup of tea. There's some gimmick matches, obviously, like Hell in a Cell and 3 Stages of Hell, and tables, ladders, and chairs and all that. But the gimmick matches, like the tuxedo match, the flag match, the something on a pole match, it just gets a little bit silly, with those kind of gimmick matches. So I wasn't really going in with too high expectations because it was a flag match, but it was okay, but it wasn't even a flag match, so don't really even bother to look at it. So the match rating, I'd give that a 2.25. I thought it was better than the Miz Ziggler match. I didn't think the Miz Ziggler match was all that great. And I thought the Divas Championship match was better than this match, in my opinion, because I thought the Divas worked better, even with the short amount of time they had. The Swagger Rusev match was all right, but it was just it just they needed to have more, and I guess that's why my rating is down more. But what they were able to work with nothing and have an all right match, so nothing too bad about that. Then we had the lumberjack match, which again I'm still not understanding why they feel the need to have a lumberjack match, but they did anyways. And so the lumberjack match consisted of Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, and it was interesting to see. It was interesting how they were using the lumberjack match. There was a bunch of stuff that happened throughout the match. They left the ring, and the lumberjacks just kind of like stood there, and Kane came out and told the lumberjacks to do their job, and there was just a bunch of fighting in the crowd. So it was very interesting, the match. I liked it. There was a lot of great stuff in the match. I'm just a big fan of Kane getting involved in stuff anymore. I used to be the biggest fan of Kane as well. If you watched the show previously, Oliver Norgrove, one of the usual guest hosts on the show, he usually says that Kane was his favorite wrestler, but now Kane really needs to go away, retire or something like that. So, and I totally agree with him on that. So I'm not really a big fan of Kane getting involved, but it was all right. I mean, Rollins beat Ambrose because Kane got involved. We're probably not going to see another match from Rollins and Ambrose because Ambrose is going to shoot a movie. So that's more likely the case that we won't see Rollins and Ambrose continue the feud. It'll be interesting to see what Rollins will. It'll be interesting to see what Rollins will do with the briefcase now that Lesnar is champion. So I guess we'll see. I mean, it'll be very interesting to see how it goes. I really like this match. I'm going to give the match a 3.5 out of 5. There was some good stuff. It wasn't crazy good, but it was a great match, and I think one of the best matches of the show. Some good stuff happening in the match, and I felt that it could have been higher if the finish was a little bit more satisfying, considering that Ambrose is probably going to leave soon. But for the match itself, it was pretty good. The Lumberjacks didn't get involved too much. There was some ham in it, obviously, but they didn't go too crazy involved. They just kind of let the match flow and did their part. So it was a pretty good match. So we'll move on now. The next match on the card was Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton. This was an interesting match as well, mainly because Reigns looked all right, and Orton really carried the match, in my opinion, which is saying something, because usually when I see matches, I don't really see Orton carrying it. I usually see the other guys carrying it. But clearly Orton was carrying the match. Nothing on Reigns, but he's got a very limited moveset. When you really look at his moves, it's only a punch. He's got the Samoan drop, the kick from the outside, and the spear. So there's not really too much to Reigns in terms of a moveset. There is some good stuff about Reigns. I think he does have that charisma that draws in people. So he's got that Goldberg-like charisma. doesn't really talk too much, but he draws people in by his, ferocity and all that. And Orton delivered an awesome RKO to Reigns, and Reigns really sold it all right, and the ending was pretty satisfying with the spear, but I wanted a little bit more, but what are you gonna do? I did like I did like this match. I thought there was some good stuff to it. I thought Orton, really carried it. I'm gonna give the match a 3 because there was some interesting stuff that happened, some interesting reversals, and Orton really did do his part to carry, but Reigns stood in there, and did his part. So I did like this match, and so yeah, that's why I'm giving it a 3. So actually I switched up the matches on the card, but whatever. The actual next before the lumberjack match was Bray Wyatt versus Chris Jericho. This was another underwhelming match in my opinion. Nothing much to it. This was a slow build match. So I'm not really a big fan of slow build matches because I find them boring. But that's people's opinions. But I thought this match was not very good, especially with the capability of Jericho. So and their match, people were getting ecstatic for this match at Battleground as well. And I remembered on NXT, Jericho faced Bray Wyatt already in NXT, and people were saying the match wasn't very good. So I remembered that match, and I thought maybe they would move on from it, and their Battleground match wasn't very good. So when I came into this match, I wasn't really expecting much, and not a lot of people were kind of either, because the build for the SummerSlam match wasn't very good, in my opinion anyways. So it was interesting stuff, but I thought there could have been more to it. But there was some good moments in the match, but at the end of the day, it was pretty underwhelming, and I thought this was. I'm going to give this match a 2 as well. I know people are probably going to be surprised about my Miz and Ziggler ranking, but I didn't really see that much of the hype around this match. I didn't think the Miz Ziggler match was very good, in my opinion. So I'm rating the Bray Wyatt and Jericho match at a 2, mainly because of the underwhelming result that came from it. So yeah, it wasn't my favorite match, obviously, on the card. In fact, I thought maybe it was the worst match on the card, which is saying something when Jericho is in it. But what are you gonna do? I mean, Jericho's getting up there in age. Not saying he's not saying he can't still go in the ring, but he's in his 40s now, I believe, if not late 30s. So I kind of wanted a bit more from the match. So it was just, I just wanted more. That's really just what I wanted to see, because I thought there could be more to the match. And slow build matches aren't really my things. And I'm sure it's not a lot of other people's thing either. So the match didn't really go over well for me. But so yeah, I've given that match a 2 out of 5. So then we go into the big main event match, and this was Brock Lesnar versus John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. This was being built as the match of the summer, and boy, it was an interesting match, because it was just absolutely brutal of a match. There was the match itself. Was just a one-handed beatdown by Lesnar. Like, usually you see Cena kind of like staying in with it, but he was just getting utterly destroyed throughout the match, which must have satisfied a bunch of Cena fans in the audience. Or, sorry, not Cena fans. Of course they would be disappointed. It must have satisfied a lot of fans that don't really like Cena. And so I mean, there was 16 suplexes, I believe the announcers said, throughout that match. And boy, it was just, it was a very physical match. So many suplexes, and it was just, and then the F5 from the very start of the match was just, you just knew from that first F5 that there was going to be a beatdown coming. So, the match, there wasn't really much of a match, but it depends who you are as a Cena fan or not. In terms of an actual match, I'm going to give it a 3 because there was some interesting stuff, but it was a one-handed beatdown. On the other hand, if you're a Cena fan, this was a 1. If you are not a Cena fan and you just loved seeing Cena getting beat, this was probably a 5 out of 5 match for you. And I wouldn't be surprised about that either if you gave it the 5 out of 5 when really though it wasn't a 5 out of 5 match. It was clearly a one-handed beatdown by Lesnar. So it was it was interesting to see that beatdown on Cena, and it'll be interesting to see where the direction goes for Lesnar, because I think Lesnar can really make raise some hell as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Obviously, people were complaining that he's a part-timer with a champion. Well, The Rock was a part-timer as a champion, and he still, did his part. I'm thinking, though, that what's going to happen is, I've been saying it for a while, I was in an argument on Twitter about, or a debate. I was in a debate on Twitter about why people like Brock Lesnar as champion right now. And I said that Brock Lesnar was a good champion, and I'm glad that he's the champion because in the future they're probably going to plan to build up Reigns, and they're probably going to have Reigns face Lesnar at WrestleMania 31. What I'm thinking here is that Lesnar fights one more match against Cena at Night of Champions, and then Lesnar claims he's beaten everybody, and leaves WWE with the belts, kind of something similar to what they did with CM Punk. And then you have a tournament maybe, and maybe someone wins, but then Rollins cashes in and wins the world title. And so then you have Rollins as a title holder all the way till Elimination Chamber, where you have Rollins in there, but Reigns as well in the Elimination Chamber. You have Reigns come out on top. Maybe you have the Authority screw over Seth Rollins, and maybe you can have Seth Rollins versus one of the Authority members. Please not Kane, but somebody within the Authority. Probably not Triple H, but you never know. And then you could have Reigns celebrating his title run, but then Lesnar comes back to proclaim he's the true champion. Then they have an argument, and then if you really want Reigns to really go over as your top guy, you have Reigns beat Lesnar at WrestleMania 31 to unify the title belts and become the undisputed WWE champion. I think that's the way they should go. If they really want to make Reigns a big, a really big star, that's probably the way to go, in my opinion. And you will also be able to compromise with Rollins' Money in the Bank briefcase, so that he could be the world champion and have some world champion experience, and that can also raise him up into the main event level. So, those are my thoughts on Lesnar being a champion. I think he can be a good champion. I think this idea of the part-time champion. I don't like part-time champions, don't get me wrong, but Lesnar's nearing the end of his contract. And if he doesn't re-sign with WWE, you might as well get a use out of him for putting over a new star. So if you have Reigns go over on Lesnar, you can really get Reigns over as the megastar that he can be. And then you can continue pushing new guys, because boy, oh boy, WWE has a major problem with their main event guys right now, because I've been saying it, week after week after week, but I'm reinforcing this because it's really important to note that the only real main event guy right now that's not hurt and all that is Cena. Orton, I think, is upper mid card right now. He can get in the main event, but he's kind of pushed down. And then you have Triple H, who's a part-timer. You have Daniel Bryan, who's hurt. You have Kane, who's an upper mid-carder at best. But, what are they going to do with Kane, to be honest? You have Batista, who's a part-timer. You have Lesnar, obviously, who's a part-timer. And, you've got CM Punk gone from the company. So right now they're really lacking some top faces right now. Or top main event guys anyways right now in the company. So they need to push somebody new. So that's why I think, that's why they should go with this thing with Lesnar. And, that's why I think, Lesnar is a good champion. So, will be a good champion. And I think it's all going to be part of a storyline to get Reigns eventually massively over with the crowd. Anyways, that was the SummerSlam Raw or SummerSlam review. This show was alright, not too bad. Some good stuff. I wasn't as impressed with it as other people did. There was some good matches on the card, but you can't get the Brock Lesnar winning the title thing clouding your judgment, because the other matches on the show were all right. So overall, out of 10, I'd give this pay-per-view about a 7, because there was some good stuff going on in the match. Because there were good stuff. I liked where some of it was going. The things I didn't like was Kane getting involved in the Lumberjack match. I didn't really feel that was kind of necessary, because there was already Lumberjacks that can get involved. I didn't really like the flag match. I don't think a lot of people really liked the flag match either. I wasn't the biggest fan of the Ziggler-Miz match as other people were, because I didn't think there was anything that special to that match. But other than that, there was good matches on the card that really helped SummerSlam become a great show. So it's a 7 out of 10 for me. It was an interesting show. Thank you for tuning into the SummerSlam post show. Obviously a little bit shorter than the other ones, but only one person, so not a bunch of conversation. But tune in to the Raw post show coming up after Raw tomorrow. Going to be Tuesday here in Eastern Time for us. Definitely go check that out. And also on Friday, check out Friday Night Talkdown, where we go over some of the biggest news in wrestling right now. So definitely go check that out as well. Good stuff going on both shows. And also subscribe to the Roz Gibby YouTube channel. Going to have more stuff coming up on the way. And keep on going with the reviews and all that. Also for Friday Night Talkdown, if you have any questions about anything going on in wrestling, you can send the tweets to me. As you can see in the top left-hand corner, that's my Twitter handle, @RawAsGibby. You can tweet to me with the hashtag AskGibby for your questions on what you want me to talk about for wrestling. It could be anything. It could be WWE, TNA, Ring of Honor, Global Force Wrestling, whatever your heart's content. And ask me a question, I will definitely answer it. And if we have guests on that show, they will definitely answer it as well. And also, too, again, just tune into the Raw's Gibby post show. We'll be going over the Raw, see what's going to happen after SummerSlam, after all the ballyhoo going around in SummerSlam. And also, too, just thank you for tuning in to the SummerSlam post show. Hopefully I could get a little bit better of a post show for the other pay-per-views. This is technically my first pay-per-view post show, so hopefully you guys liked it. Obviously a little bit on the shorter side in terms of my other videos, but hope you guys liked it. Hope you liked the review. And anyways, thank you for tuning in, and hope you all have a good day.